Definition of a mean girl. Huh, would you look at that? It says Whitney.
Hello? You're currently on the phone with KCK. Yep, that's me.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, or whenever you're listening to this. Yeah, I guess a lot of you did not like last week's episode because not very many people listened to it, which is fine. I don't care. A lot of people listen differently. Like, some people save up their podcast to listen to. Some people listen to them right away. I'm kind of in between. If I know I have like a long road trip coming up, or like, airplane ride or whatever, I try and save up my podcast. But for the most part, I listen to them all as they come out. And then the worst part is when you have listened to all of them. And you're like, well, now what? Now what am I going to do? But yeah, the numbers are always interesting to look at. Like, sometimes they'll spike quite a bit. Sometimes they'll be stagnant for a while. Sometimes they're pretty consistent. So just interesting. Just an interesting thought. What have you guys been up to? I don't even know what I've been doing. Preparing for winter. Winter is coming. My goal is to have everything buttoned up outside, get all my firewood ready, because I'm going to have a cozy little winter. I'm not going to do much outside. I'm probably not going to go very many places in the winter, because I just don't want to. Yeah, I got to figure out a routine though, because when winter comes and the sun is not up, my body thinks it should be asleep. And it's hard. And I'm having a hard time waking up right now. Like, once I'm up, I am fine. I like it a lot. But just getting up, I don't know why that's so hard for me right now. I have like 5 alarms that go off, and I can sleep through all of them. And one of them is those ones that looks like the sun is rising. Like, it slowly gets brighter and brighter, and then the alarm goes off. So I don't know what I need to do. I probably need to set my Google thing to have my lamps in my room turn on at a certain time every day. But I just need to get into a routine, a morning routine that'll, get me up and get me going. But here we are. I did wake up earlier than I have recently though, so there we go. And I've been using mouth tape to sleep at night, and I don't know what. I got into bed last night and I was been so tired. We watched like a scary movie. It wasn't like too terrifying, and the only reason I watched it is because Glenn Close was in it. It's that new one on Netflix called The Deliverance, and I didn't know it was supposed to be scary until like a few days ago, and I'm like, but I really want to watch Glenn Close in this movie. So anyway, my cousin and my friend came over last night, and they're like, we're watching this movie. I'm like, okay, I'll watch with you. So we, even if the movie's not super scary, I'm always like scared to go downstairs and go to bed. So I turned on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives to lull me to sleep, and that it did. And so, yeah, this was about mouth taping, right? Anyway, so I like passed out, and I forgot to put on my mouth tape, but I think I slept with my mouth closed all night long, which is good, and I sleep so much better. If you have not tried mouth tape, I highly recommend it. I don't buy actual mouth tape, which I don't know if that's dangerous or not, because the real mouth tape, you can like breathe out of your mouth if you need to. This, I just bought like bandage tape, and it sticks pretty well and it works. And you guys, my lips are not dry anymore. Like, I never have to put on chapstick or anything anymore because I sleep with my mouth closed now. So that all that dry, crusty air isn't going on my lips. And I hardly ever have to use uh, chapstick, lip balm, like any of that stuff anymore. So just a little helpful hint. And plus you just sleep so much better. So, and yes, so this episode is going to be primarily dedicated to the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which was supposed to be called Momtok, but I think they made the right decision because I don't think anybody would really know what Momtok was. I didn't know what it was, and I thought it was created because of the whole swinging scandal, but it was not. It was a thing before, which I'm so curious. It looks dumb as hell. Do you guys watch that? Like, does anybody like watch the Mom Talk stuff seriously? They're all their weird dancing and getting together and like people like that. I just don't understand who would want to watch that. Like they were showing clips of it and I'm like throughout the show I'm like this is like really hard to watch. So it's kind of cringy, but you know what? They make a lot of money, so I would probably go with it as well. The cringiest one to watch though was Whitney. Like her dance move, she was like going so hard, and like I'm like, hey, you can calm down. Like you do not need to dance that like vigorously. Like you are going way too hard on this. But I'll do all my other news before, and then talk about not Real Housewives, Secret Housewives of Mormon Wives at the end. So if you haven't watched it, because I know some people haven't, but I've got to talk about it. I binged it so quickly. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. High production value. I have lots of thoughts. I have lots of notes. Yeah, I think this is what people thought Real Housewives of Salt Lake was going to be. Because in reality, there's only one person on Real Housewives of Salt Lake that's Mormon. And I don't know. I guess maybe from watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I've learned not to judge people on how religious they are. Quite frankly, I don't care. I don't really care if you say you're one religion, but you don't really practice that. And you, like, okay, Lisa Barlow, if you want to be Mormon, be Mormon. I probably would recommend you reading the Book of Mormon first, because that is a pretty big part of the church. So that, there's that. The problem I have with it is, are they like these people are getting temple recommends, but they're going on national television and screaming the F word at each other and talking about their sex lives and drinking alcohol. I think that's just where I get pretty bugged, because I know people who have gotten their privileges to go to the temple taken away for a lot less than that. So, yeah, I think that's what bugs me, is they just kind of get away with it. And I'm like, after watching this show, do you really think that you're going to just be able to go back to church like willy-nilly, like nothing's wrong? Like, I don't know. Anyway, okay, I will talk about other things first, and then we'll get into this, because see, it's just too good. I just want to talk and talk and talk about it because it's amazing. The first line of business that we have today is Katy Perry's new album comes out I think it's next Friday, September 20th. Let me get my horrible, awful Apple calendar up. Yeah, next Friday, September 20th. It's called 143, which stands for, it's like angel numbers for I love you. She says she's been seeing them a lot lately, or, throughout the last few years. And the ones I see a lot are 123, which kind of signifies a restart, I would say. Let me double check. 123 angel number. The angel number 123 can have many. Do we trust this AI thing yet on Google? Like, is it like Wikipedia, or is it actually like mostly factual? Because that's what pops up every time now, is the AI. And I've gotten a lot of info off that, but then sometimes like it was like so the one time I looked it up and it was like misspelled. Like a lot of the words were misspelled and the sentences didn't make sense. I'm like, oh well, but that's where I am reading from right now is the AI Google thing. So 123, seeing the number 123 can be a sign you are progressing in your life. It can mean you are taking a major step forward, such as moving in with a partner or climbing the career ladder. Embracing new beginnings. The number 123 can encourage you to get out of your comfort zone, take the initiative, and embrace new beginnings. Trust the process. Seeing number 123 can be a sign to trust in the sequential steps that unfold before you and embrace the natural progression of events. Balance, creativity, career growth. So, yeah, independence. That's a big one. So, yeah, I see that a lot everywhere. Like, on not just like the clock or whatever, but like on receipts, like on TV, just like random things on the news with like those little bars at the bottom, like scroll, bunch of news, whatever. Just like stuff like that. I always see 123. So I'm like, well, I guess that's mine. Katy Perry's is 143. I Love You. The whole album's about love, whatever. She was on Call Her Daddy the other day, which we just talked about that last week. And it was good. I think a lot of people didn't like how she answered the question about Dr. Luke. Probably because she didn't answer the question about Dr. Luke. It was, I know it's probably PR training or whatever, but when celebrities don't answer the question, well, when really anybody doesn't answer the question, I'm like, that's not what they asked you. Like she didn't answer the question. Let's just be honest. I don't know if it has a lot of legal things to do with it or what, but I think we need to get over that because I did some research over the weekend, meaning I Googled, and a lot of people have worked with Dr. Luke, and not one person is getting criticized the way that Katy Perry is getting criticized. So I don't know. I just think that she's sadly one of those people, one of those celebrities now that everyone has just climbed on to hate. And I don't really think she's done anything to deserve that, but that's just my opinion. And I think she understands that, and I think she's fine with it now because she has, $500 million and a crazy successful career. She's got Orlando Bloom. So, I mean, in reality, we lost. But, yeah, but other than that, the rest of the interview was pretty good. And she's just funny and quirky, and I think, I don't know. I remember one time she went on the Ellen shows right after she had cut all her hair off, and one of my friends texted me, and she's like, "Why is Katy Perry so weird?" I'm like, well, I think she's always been quirky and random, and you know what I mean, and silly. So I don't understand this whole she's weird, and it happened right after her hair was cut. So it's like, I don't know. It's just a weird thing to have that many people like you, to have that many people hate you in such a quick amount of time. And I don't know, all the hate on the Witness era, I don't really get it. I remember watching a live, she was doing an Instagram live on the way to some award show. It might have been the VMAs. And she was like waiting for them to play her new song on the radio, Bon Appetit. And they weren't. And she kept saying, well, maybe the next one, maybe the next one. And you could tell she was just so sad. And in the people leaving comments on the live are being so rude, telling her she's ugly, telling her she's stupid. And she's like, I don't think you guys would talk to your moms or your sisters like this, or at least I hope you wouldn't. And you could just tell she just looks so defeated and so sad. And I'm like, what happened? What is wrong with people? I don't know. I just, interesting. Anyway, I'll get over it. But she's having a listening party in major cities around the US, and I was surprised she's having one in Utah. I'm like, oh, that'll be cool. Maybe I'll go to it. It's in St. George. Why is it in St. George? Why? Like, I do not understand that whatsoever. why not Salt Lake? That makes so much more sense than St. George. St. George really is not a part of Utah, in my opinion. Like, it is, but it's like literally down at the very, 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 very bottom, away from everything else. And I'm like, when people kind of clump it together with, the majority of Utah, I'm like, it's not, it's kind of its own thing. Like, yes, we still claim it, whatever, but it's not, I don't know. It just seems like, here's an example. It is, the Costco store in St. George is on the Las Vegas network. So whatever the Vegas stores get, the St. George stores get. So there, that just shows you. It's not part of northern Utah. It's down in the southern part. That's what I mean. It's just, it's like out of the way, still in Utah, but it takes like 3 hours to get there. And like, there's really nothing besides Cedar City that's close to it. I'll even clump Cedar City in there with it. Like in northern Utah, there's tons and tons and tons of other towns that kind of clump up together and make, a lot of people. And just on the way to St. George, there's nothing. So I just don't understand why she would choose St. George. I'm not going to go down there. But if you're in St. George, you want to go to Katy Perry's listening party, I think it's next Wednesday. So that's pretty disappointing for me. This Wednesday, the 11th, which is so crazy, the VMAs were supposed to be on Thursday, and they changed them to a day before, on September 11th, to not intervene with the debate. I wonder if that's still happening. The presidential debate. Let's see. But someone's like, what a wild date to change it to. September 11th. Let's see. Trump and Harris's first presidential debate of 2024 is tomorrow. Oh, so it must have been Tuesday. And they changed. I thought it was Thursday and they changed it to Tuesday. Is this an old article? Maybe this is an old article. The debate begins 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. Who is moderating? World News Tonight anchor David Muir and ABC News Live Prime anchor Lindsay Davis will moderate the debate. Where is it taking place? The National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. Pennsylvania is one of 7 battleground states that will help determine the outcome of the election. Blah, 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 blah. This is old. This isn't. Wait, why? Sorry, this is so confusing. It keeps saying Mr. Biden. Anyway, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, so that's 7 p.m. Mountain. Just FYI. I'm sure you can watch it on probably anywhere, honestly. I remember I used to work at this place, and it was like captioning telephones. It's called Caption Call. And it was basically for people who are hard of hearing, and they had these phones, and they had a big screen on them, and that it would write out the words that the other people were saying so they could read it. And I was one of the people behind the phone. You just repeat what the people say. And it's a lot harder than you actually think. Like, you think, oh, that's not too bad. No, it's pretty hard. And their technology sucked. So, like, the words would come out, like, not good at all. But I remember when the debate for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump was happening, and the phones were silent, like, dead. No one was calling. Like, we had maybe 2 or 3 calls in that hour and a half or however long it was. Like, no one was calling. Everyone was, like, dialed into this debate. It was crazy. But yeah, so debate tomorrow. Anyway, VMAs, September 11th on Wednesday. Katy Perry is getting the Vanguard Award for her achievements, and I'm just gonna be honest, it's long overdue. Oh, did you guys see they've released more greatest pop stars of all time? Let's see, Billboard. I can't with these guys. Ever since they put Katy Perry at 25, I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. I can't take you guys seriously. I just can't. Number 20 is Bruno Mars. Number 21, I think, was One Direction. Number 20, this Billboard Instagram page is all over the place. Sorry. I think Lil Wayne is number 19. I'm just like, okay, who's coming up with these? Like, Pink was an honorary honorary member. Oh, 21 was Lil Wayne. Pink was an honorary person. I'm like, Pink has, whether you like her or not, she has one of the greatest careers in the music industry. She's been doing this for like, what is it, 3 decades now? 4 decades? 3? She sells out arenas and now stadiums every single time. People know her songs. They're all catchy. I don't know. I'm just so confused. And I think the whole point of this list is just to make people angry. 22 was One Direction. 23, Bad Bunny. Like, I can't. So yeah, there's that. Katy Perry has sold 143 million singles, which is interesting because that's the name of her new album, 143. She's won 107 awards throughout her career. She has 9 number one hits. Yeah, crazy. One of her songs is on the last episode of Lives of Mormon Wives. It's the very beginning. When I'm Gone. It's such an underrated song in my opinion, honestly. She did an interview where she was asked her own songs, like two each, and it's like this or that. And it was kind of surprising. She chose Teenage Dream over The One That Got Away, which I don't think you choose any song over The One That Got Away because it's just so good. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going through all her awards that she's won. Crazy. Did you guys ever see that video of her accepting the award at the Kids' Choice Awards and she gets slimed like so hard that she falls to the ground? They're lucky it was that. It was her. Could you imagine if it was Mariah Carey? Like, she would have sued the entire Nickelodeon network and it would have been shut down. Like, she's not one that would handle that kind of thing well. Let's see. If you guys haven't voted yet, go to the VMAs.com or whatever and vote for your categories. I don't know. Award shows used to be so fun. I used to have like watch parties for all these award shows, and there's one in particular, I think it was the Grammys, and Justin Bieber was performing, and one of his backup dancers did a backflip off this stage. It was like a level up from the main stage, and he landed on his back. I'll have to find it and post it because we rewinded that so many times, and it's like a scene from a movie. Like, he's like crawling off stage holding his back. Like, I know it's not funny and he probably has severe problems for the rest of his life, but I'm like, did I just see that? Did I really just see that? And I did. Let's see. Gaga announces her first single is going to be released in October, around the time of The Joker. I still don't know how to say that name. And the movie's not getting very good reviews. But remember, we don't listen to critics. I don't, at least. And they're saying that she was too good for this movie. Like, it was a waste of her time, waste of her talent. But she's still going to these, press conferences and saying she had a great time and enjoyed the movie, enjoyed working with Joaquin Phoenix. And so there's that. I mean, obviously, I'll still see it. I saw Beetlejuice this week. If you haven't seen my TikTok, go follow me on TikTok. And I got the crumble cake Beetlejuice thing. It was really good. It's a lot of calories. I got 2 of them. Ate them within 2 days of each other. 1 day, actually, technically. And it was fun. I liked it a lot. You should go see it. If you're even kind of thinking about seeing it, you should go. It was very clever, very well thought out, very camp, very, Tim Burton And I'm still confused why they don't have Gina Davis in there. She was like the main character in the first movie. She was married to Alec Baldwin, which I think we're all, pretty sure why Alec Baldwin wasn't asked back. And then I'm just so confused why Charles, the dad of Winona Ryder in the movie, wasn't in this one. Even though he wasn't. Like, I'm just gonna say it. He like dies, and he gets his head bit off by a shark, and then he continues to be seen throughout the movie with just like a headless body, and it's disgusting because there's like blood. I can't. There's like bones sticking out. But like he's in it, but he doesn't show his face. So I'm like, did something happen? Is he not a good person? I just don't understand why they would show him that much if they're not going to show him. You know what I mean? But it was good. A lot of different storylines happening at one time, but they all kind of wrap up pretty quickly and they don't like drag out, And I went to a kind of a smaller theater in Payson, and I don't mind it, but I like going to the big theaters because I have the Cinemark rewards, they have the cool merch, and I don't know why I didn't think about this. They have the Beetlejuice popcorn tins I'm pretty sure that's Cinemark and probably at AMC. And I didn't go and get one. I'm seriously debating just going in and buying one and leaving. But if you are listening to this and I haven't posted about my Beetlejuice popcorn tin yet, please get one for me because I'm afraid they're going to sell out. I didn't get one of the Mean Girls one. I got the Mean Girls cup, which I'm looking at right now. But anyway, what's next? Ellen's last... I think we've talked about this a lot because I swear I see this article pop up so many times. I'm just curious if this will actually happen. Ellen's last stand-up show, I think it's called Ellen's Last Stand-Up Show, I think that's what it's called, will air on the 24th of September, on Netflix. And she says that'll be the last time that we'll ever see her. I'm like, I mean, they pretty much did bully you into oblivion, didn't they? I just have a hard time believing it'll be the last time that we see her. I'm sure in like 10 years we'll see her on some show. Sorry, I'm trying to get this piece of lint off the microphone. We'll see her on some show getting an award, like some prestigious, like, what is that Dick Van Dyke Award? What show is that for? I don't know. I just can't imagine. I can't see her just sitting around doing nothing, I mean, I guess she has that skincare line to promote. I'm just curious who's buying that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I guess there's a market for everybody. Because I think at this point, if it wasn't doing well, she'd shut it down. But it's still going. It's called Kind Science, which is, I don't know, it's kind of a weird name, in my opinion. Kim Kardashian's son, Saint, he has started a YouTube channel, and she made him sign a contract saying he will not talk about the family on the YouTube channel. He will not spill any secrets. Like, it's forbidden. So, and she's been studying. I can't remember if she said she liked doing contracts or she hated it. In one of the episodes of Kardashian, she says she's doing contracts. I think she said it's really hard, but she likes it. So she's probably good at writing contracts now because of all this law school stuff. I'm surprised we haven't seen a new trailer for the new season yet. Did you guys see that Jordan was hanging out with Stassi and Kylie Jenner the other day? If you're unsure what I just said, Jordan, I want to keep calling her Jordan Sparks. Jordan, what is her name? What is her last name? Woods. Jordan Woods was best friends with Kylie Jenner, like forever. And they lived together and all this stuff. And she's the one that was caught kissing Tristan, who Tristan is Khloe's ex-boyfriend of 5 times. And they were at a party and she was seen sitting on his lap kissing him. And so that like blew up that entire friendship and family. And you know what bugged me though? I still think about this a lot. Is Jada Pinkett Smith. She has that show, Red Table Talk. I don't know if she still has it or not. You don't hear much about it. But she had Jordan on the show. And then I think it was Willow with her. And she's like introducing her. She's like, this situation has rocked 3 families' worlds. it has derailed 3 families. And I'm like, 3? Like, who's she talking about? I'm like, hey, she's probably talking about the Woods, the Kardashians, and the Jenners. And she's like, the Woods, the Kardashians, and the Smiths. I'm like, why are you dragging yourself into this? This has nothing to do with you. Like, when she said that, I started laughing because I'm like, she can't be serious. What does she have to do with this? She has nothing to do with this entire situation. Oh my gosh, it was so... I think about that all the time because it just bugs me. It bugs me so much. Okay, moving on. Lady Gaga is on the cover of Forbes magazine. You guys, I've still yet to get the Kylie Jenner cover of British Vogue. And then there was a new... I think it must be this one. There's a new magazine I want to get. I can't remember. I used to write all these down. Lady Gaga is on the cover of October Vogue. And I was so sad because I went to Barnes & Noble the other day. And I actually did want to get the Blake Lively cover of Vogue. And I saw it and I'm like, I don't want to buy that. I'm not going to. And I don't know. I kind of wanted to because Hugh Jackman's in it too. And Baz Luhrmann, he is the one, or it was like based off one of his films or something. The photo shoot was. And then I went back like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days later, and the same amount of Vogue magazines were still on the shelf. Like, no one's buying it. I'm like, ooh, that sucks. You wonder what Blake Lively's life is like right now. Like, what do you think she's doing? Do you think she's just at home? Like, do you think she dares go outside? Not like in like a she's gonna die kind of way, but just, you know, she's not doing very well right now, and people are not happy with her, and she's kind of like, I don't know, just like all these series of unfortunate events played out one by one so quickly, and she went from like this beloved person to being just not liked at all and called out. Someone the other day, I saw a compilation of Jennifer Lawrence's interviews, and she's just so fun and just like she can banter with people. She's like quirky and not like a weird cringy way. And some in the comments are like, this is what Blake Lively thinks she is. She thinks she's Jennifer Lawrence. And I'm like, that is quite true. I will agree with that. But yeah, I'll probably get the next magazine cover for Vogue because Lady Gaga's on it. And she's wearing weird, quirky outfits again. And that makes me happy to see that. What else? Katy Perry has a new smoothie at Erewhon. And I looked up Erewhon, and they have multiple locations. But I still can't get over how it was started in Boston, and now I don't think it's even in Boston. Maybe they're just not showing it to me because I'm on the West Coast side or whatever, you know, but I'm just so confused. They have one in Calabasas. I thought they just had one. I thought it was one location, and that was it. Santa Monica, Studio City, Venice, Silver Lake, The Grove, Beverly Hills, and Palisades, Culver City, and Pasadena. I know you guys all wanted to know that. Okay, Katy Perry smoothie is $22. The details say Katy's signature smoothie is bright, bold, and euphoric. Inspired by her forthcoming album 143, it features a burst of orange pineapple. It actually looks really good, you guys. I have no idea what that word is. A pitaya glaze balanced with creamy coconut, almond milk, and a splash of dasoy. Dasoy is Katy Perry's non-alcoholic wine brand, which is so confusing to me when people drink non-alcoholic beer or wine because they both taste disgusting. So I don't know who is just drinking these things and not even getting like a buzz. You know what I mean? Like, if you know, at least if you drink those other things, you're getting like a little bit of like a happy buzz, but to get nothing and how to taste that, I don't know. And a splash of Dasoy Italiano spritz from Adepton. I do not know what that says. We've added an antioxidant boost with organic carrots and goji berries along with Lucama Vanilla Collagen, and Euphoria Powder. A portion of the proceeds will be donated to the Firework Foundation, Katie's organization dedicated to empowering children from underserved communities by igniting their inner light through arts. The ingredients: De Soy Spirito Italiano Malk, MALK, organic almond milk, Uncle Matt's organic pulp-free orange juice, Woodstock organic pineapple chunks, Anima Mundi Euphoria powder, vanilla collagen, organic carrot. That looks pretty good, you guys. I can't read half the ingredients in it, but I wish I could order that. Unfortunate. What is next? There's a new show called Child Star coming to Hulu, which Demi Lovato, I guess she's directing it. I thought she was just in it. Let's see. Demi Lovato makes directorial debut with Child Star documentary about the dangers of growing up in the spotlight. Is the price of fame worth your childhood? The haunting tagline of Demi Lovato's directorial debut, Child Star, asks what audiences have been forced to reconsider in 2024. With the onslaught of docuseries like Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, and Showbiz Kids this year, the 90s and early 2000s are being re-examined for how kid actors were both treated and on set and exploited. Lovato, whose own career began with Barney and Friends at age 6, interviews fellow stars such as Drew Barrymore, Christina Ricci, is it Ricci or Ricky? Kenan Thompson, Raven Simone, Jojo Siwa, and Allison Stoner for the feature. Lovato became a Disney icon with Sunny and the Chance and Camp Rock. Her later struggles with drug and mental illness issues were captured in 2021 documentary Demi Lovato Dancing with the Devil. Has it already been that long? Crazy, I remember watching that. Now Lovato is behind the camera with Child Star, which she co-directs with Nicola Marsh. The film explores highs and lows of growing up in the spotlight through the lens of some of the world's most famous former child stars. Lovato reflected on the pressure she felt providing for her family at a young age. At Disney, you became this instant role model, whether you liked it or not. And because Disney Channel was so big at the time, there was also this unspoken pressure that if you did make a mistake, you knew there were millions of people just waiting to take your spot. I think I had passed the threshold of what I could withstand emotionally and physically. I didn't realize that child stardom could be traumatic. And it isn't traumatic for everybody, but it was for me. Yeah. Anyway, it comes out... When does it come out? It doesn't even say on here. I think it comes out this month sometimes, you guys. And it's going to be on Hulu. And it's pretty interesting. I feel like Drew Barrymore has the craziest childhood in Hollywood. I mean, she's going to like clubs and stuff when she's like 6 or 7. And her mom, if you haven't read her book, I think it's called Wildflower. It's really good. And she kind of explains more of it in there. But like, she lived right downtown Hollywood, I want to say. And she kind of took care of herself from a young age. And luckily there was just good other adults in the area, like where she worked and all that stuff, that kept an eye on her. But yeah, just the fact that she turned out so well is pretty remarkable, I have to say, because she had the many opportunities to go off the deep end. Way worse than she actually did. Like, she was done with her partying phase, like, into her 20s, I think. And I mean, I guess those happen, I guess, when you start partying at age like 9 or 10. So that should be pretty good. Apparently there was a Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce contract that leaked. And I don't know. I don't think it's true, but I'm sure a lot of people do and want it to be true. Which is funny because right after that, she shows up to the first football game, which was the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't even know who else was playing. And she's walking down the hall. She's never looked more hot in her entire life. She came to slay, and she did. She was serving looks. She had these like thigh-high boots on with these short denim shorts and a denim like tank top, crop top thing. her hair was like immaculate, her makeup was on point. Like, she came to say, yeah, no, this is actually a real relationship, and I'm coming to watch games no matter what you guys think. Like, she looked so good. So good. And someone's like, this is giving Reputation. Like, this is like revenge look. And I'm like, I totally agree. So I don't think that the contract was real. Also, did you guys see Travis Kelce's growing out his hair? Thank goodness. Like, I think he looks good no matter what, but I saw a photo of him back when he had his TV show, Catching Kelce or whatever, and he had longer hair. I'm like, oh, please grow your hair back. You look so much better. Like, it looks so good. And he is. And they were photographed together multiple times this weekend. They're at the US Open, which is, I'm pretty sure it's tennis. And they're just seen there, like, dancing and singing and just enjoying their time. And did you guys see at the game, someone gave Taylor Swift a friendship bracelet, and she put it on right away and was like, thank you. Take notes, Blake Lively. that's how you do it. Yeah, so did they win their game? Should we find out? Did the Chiefs win the game? Did the Chiefs win the big game? They did. It was against the Baltimore Ravens. So 27-20. Just in case you're wondering. Let's see. Speaking of football, Kendrick Lamar was just announced as the Super Bowl halftime performer. Which I like Kendrick Lamar, but does he have like songs people want to like sing along to? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like he's not a good artist or whatever, but usually it's just like people who have like crazy hits, you know? I just don't know if he does. Maybe I'm not seeing it the way other people are, but yeah, usually it's people, I don't know. And it's like, do you think that usually it's people like Pink or, you know, Rihanna or Beyonce who have these like hits, like hit after hit after hit, and people can sing along with them, and they're like anthems. I just don't see Kendrick having that, but maybe I could be wrong. I know he's a very big artist, 68 million monthly listeners. Like, I bet. Okay, so All the Stars with SZA. I wouldn't be surprised if he brought her out on stage and sang that song. Sorry. Like, do you think he's gonna sing Not Like Us? Like, he can't sing that on TV, can he? I mean, I don't care, but you know, some people might. It should be interesting. What else does he have? Humble. Be humble. Sit down. Which is the one that Taylor Swift likes, and she's rapping in the back of the car. It was referencing the Eiffel Tower, if you know what I mean. I hope he sings that song. And I hope none of them are edited. I hope it's all explicit, the entire show. Let's see. Rachel Ray. If you guys don't know who that is, she's one of the OG cooking people on TV. And people are kind of worried about her. She looks not the same at all. Like, people don't know if she's sick or if she's like an alcoholic, because her face is just super puffy. And they said that she was doing some interview the other day, and she was like kind of slurring her words and like had to lean up against something because she was like wobbling. And people are just don't know if she's sick or if she's an alcoholic or what, but she did not look the same. When I saw the name, I'm like, who is that? And I'm like, that's Rachel Ray? Huh, interesting. I just saw this morning when I woke up, but Kathy Bates is retiring, she said. So that's sad because I like Kathy Bates a lot. She's just one of those people who, whenever you see her in the lineup, you're like, oh, this is going to be good. Yeah, this is going to be good. Okay, let me hurry up so we can get through this. Selena Gomez is officially a billionaire, you guys. So, she reached that status just the other day. Gomez's wealth is based, this is from CNN, Gomez's wealth is based on Bloomberg's estimated value of her stake in the beauty brand, plus her interest in mental health platform Wondermind. I've never heard of that. And various earnings from her music, acting, properties, and money she makes from partnerships she posts about on social media, which includes her 424 million Instagram followers. That's so crazy. And she's the third most followed. I just can't. Her popularity on Instagram makes her the third most followed person behind soccer icons Cristiano Ronaldo, 638 million, and Lionel Messi, 504 million. Helping her rake in massive endorsements with Puma, reported net worth of worth a reported $30 million, and Coach a $10 million deal. Could you imagine making $40 million by promoting clothes? But her following has also helped her rare beauty line, putting her in the celebrity-led category of makeup brands dominated by Rihanna and Kardashians. Did you guys see Rihanna has a hair care line now? Is that new, or has that been around and now she's just promoting it? I just saw that the other day. Gomez has reportedly, I'm telling you, the new thing right now is hair care. I wouldn't be surprised if Kardashians came out with a hair care line, and Beyonce has one. Who else? Selena Gomez. Let's see. Gomez has reportedly reached out to investors for what? Oh, seeking valuation. Sorry, Gomez has reportedly reached out to investors for rare beauty seeking a $2 billion valuation. In 2020, Gomez was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and later said in an interview with Entrepreneur that that any deal struck with her has to have an element that's charitable or in the mental health space. She started the Rare Impact Fund to help raise $100 million to help people gain access to mental health services. Crazy. Other revenue streams for the former child star include, I wonder why she's not on that child star. I wonder that she should have had her and Miley Cyrus on there. Sorry, I'm talking about Demi Lovato. Let's see. Include her Hulu show Only Murders in the Building, which just renewed for a 5th season, where she makes $6 million a season, according to Bloomberg. That is so crazy. She's worth $1.3 billion right now. That is awesome. And the company's only 5 years old. So crazy. But the thing is, people like the product. So that's what happens when you make a good product and people like it. I'm wondering when Lady Gaga will be a billionaire from hers. Let's see. Melissa McCarthy is set to star in a John Bennett Ramsey series. John Bennett Ramsey is that little girl that died. I think she lived in Colorado. She was like in pageants and stuff, and she mysteriously disappeared or died or something. And like the parents were never charged or found guilty or something. This has like a huge cult following, so I think this will be pretty good. Someone on Twitter is like, I'm sorry, but doesn't anyone think that Melissa McCarthy's a little bit too old being John Bennett Ramsey? Okay, let's get into the real deal. Let's get into the real stuff here. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I'm just going to read you throughout, like I have like notes I've taken, and it'll probably just be random, but this is just my thoughts while I was watching it. I was surprised they released all the episodes at once, because you just never know what, like with the Kardashians, it's once a week. But like with Selling Sunset, it's all at once. You know what I mean? So it's such interesting how they decide which shows to release all at once, which shows to release one at a time. The temple that they're all standing and walking in front of at the intro isn't even there anymore. It's torn down. They're tearing down all those ugly old temples that look like spaceships and birthday cakes and stuff. And it was caused like a lot of controversy. Like it's very like 70s mid-century modern vibes, and those people that liked all that architecture are really upset that they're tearing them down. But they're just weird. I'm sorry, they're just weird looking. But they don't exist anymore. The one in Ogden's gone, and now the one in Provo's gone. I just edited this because I changed my thoughts. Originally it said don't like Whitney, Dakota, and I'm unsure about Jesse. Now it says don't like Whitney, Dakota, Zach, and I was unsure about Jesse. The only reason I was unsure about her is because I saw a couple TikToks about her salon, and how some people went there and they said that they felt so unwelcome, so judged, so like not wanted. And so I'm like, well, surely that stems from the top down, you know what I mean? But this one girl, she said she was so excited to get accepted into like her hair school because apparently she's like the queen of extensions. And she was so excited and she drove down there and she like walked in and like the girls just like all looked her up and down and like wouldn't even acknowledge her, wouldn't say hi. She said it was so like the energy in the room was just off. There's a bad vibe, such mean girl energy. And I don't doubt that. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this because I don't agree. I don't think everyone's like this. Every Utah Mormon girl. But I have been to salons a few times because I get my eyebrows done. And the lady that does them has moved salons a few times. And I've had to go in like for the first time and like check in or whatever. And I've been in like maybe 2 or 3 times. And that same exact thing has happened. They're like, all the girls are sitting doing people's hair, gossiping, whatever, you know, and they turn around and look at me, like look me up and down, and like have this like look on their face, like, what are you doing here? Like, and none of them help me. Like, I had to stand there and wait. I've had to stand there a few times and wait until the person that's doing my eyebrows comes out and comes and gets me, and then you can tell they're like, oh, like their demeanor changes. Like, oh, he's not just some random person in here. Like, I know it's weird if like a man shows up and it's like makes like the women uncomfortable. I totally understand that, but I'm coming into an establishment to get a service done, and you guys are acting like I'm like this disgusting piece of trash that just rolled in. And so I totally understand how that girl felt on TikTok that went to Jesse's salon. And I just think there's just like this mean girl mentality, especially in Utah County. And I don't know. If you know, you know. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but I have felt like that numerous amounts of times in rooms with these kinds of women. So sorry, not sorry. Let's see. So now I like Jessie, and I think she is pretty down to earth and normal, and I think she added a lot to the show. I do not. No, sorry. Now we're going to the like. My likes were. It used to say Demi or Demi. Sorry, it's Demi. I'm so sorry. That's just how it's phonetically spelled. Like I think Demi Moore is that's how you say her name, but then it's Demi Lovato. I'm like, why can't it just be Demi? Because that's how it's spelled. Anyway, Demi, Jenna, and Layla, I like. And I'm unsure about Taylor, but now I changed it to I was unsure about Taylor. I still like all these girls, and I actually like Macy now too. I wasn't really sure about her either. But I think everyone went into this thinking Taylor was going to be the villain and Taylor was going to be the annoying girl, and pretty much everyone I've seen on TikTok has the same feelings about her now, where she's like kind of misunderstood, and someone's like, I felt really bad for her because she's clearly never had somebody on her side before, like the way her mom treats her and talks to her, and her dad, and now Dakota, and she kind of was just like the ringleader of all this, and she's come out well liked, unlike Whitney, who people are not liking like at all. I saw a TikTok of hers just recently, and it was like, when you remember the show differently or whatever, and she's like, she's mouthing something. It's kind of like what the F or what the actual F or something, and she's got her stomach, like, it's not even just a little bit out, it is all the way out. Like, her stomach is fully out, her pregnant stomach. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with like embracing like your pregnancy and stuff, but there was not a scene where Taylor's shirt wasn't either a little bit up or a lot of up. Like, you saw her stomach every single scene. Like, even if it was just a sliver, I'm like, why does this fascination with showing your pregnant stomach? Like, just pull the shirt down. Like, I get self-conscious when you can see my stomach sometimes when I like lift my shirt up. I'm like, no, no, no. Like, why? We understand you're pregnant. We can see it because you're wearing the most skin-tight clothes of all time. Like, you don't have to pull your shirt up to show us that you're pregnant. But in that TikTok of what's her name's, Whitney's, like, there's not one nice comment on that. People were like roasting her and like tearing her to shreds, and they're like, babes, you're the problem. Like, you're like, there's no way around it. You're the issue. And I'm like, it's so true. I don't know. The first time I saw her, I'm like, I don't get good vibes from you. Okay, so this one answers my question because I just saw a TikTok about it. I said, they all still talk to Taylor like everything's normal after she said they were all swingers. So apparently these guys aren't necessarily the original Momtok people. There's a few of them that are, but for the most part, there was a different crew, and those were the ones that were doing the swinging. I saw one on there that was like 17. It said like they're going through the rotation of all the girls, and they were showing their ages. That's another thing I'll get to. And one of them said 17. I'm like, 17? What are you doing there? But I mean, it makes sense, I guess, because Michaela was having children at 16. Not that that's a bad thing. I'll get into that later too, but you'll understand why it's bad when I explain. What was I going to say? Just barely. I was going to say something. Oh, why do they show their ages all the time? I don't understand that. It's every single scene. Every single time one of them comes up in their confessionals or anything, it says, Jenna, 24. I'm like, why? Who cares? Like, why do I need to know that? I think they want to show just like the craziness of these women who are so young and have these kids and are married, you know what I mean? Which I understand, but show it at the beginning of the episode, the first time you see them, and then we don't have to keep doing it. Like, why do you have to keep showing their ages? I don't understand. Let's see. I didn't know Momtok was a thing before the whole swinging drama. I thought it was created because of that, but it's been a thing, and people enjoy it. I can't watch them do their dance things and stuff and take them seriously. Like, I don't. My friend would always be like, I'm on Utah Mormon Mom Reddit. I'm like, okay. And so I was thinking like Rachel Purcell, like the bigger, more famous people, I guess, vloggers or bloggers. I didn't realize there was all these people. Like, it's kind of crazy how many influencers there are in Utah. And yeah, I thought the Momtok thing was just a thing after the whole swinging incident. But it was not. It was a thing before, and people are liking it, which I'm sorry, I don't. I maybe it's just because of the first time I saw it was a video of Whitney dancing, and it was so aggressive and so just like forced and stuff. I'm like, this is like, I don't. Anyway, so Michaela, I mentioned her earlier. She had her first baby at 16, I think. She's married at 16. But what gets me is her husband was 21. I'm like, that's a little alarming. Like, how did that even happen? And like, they kind of just brushed by it. No one, they like, they didn't say it outright, but when you do the math, you're kind of like, well, now wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. There's no way this can happen. But it did. That's crazy to me. Okay, what is next? What do I have next? Sorry, let me pull up my little notes. Okay, so then there's all these shots of like religious like buildings and stuff. And a lot of the buildings they show it just the same buildings multiple times. They're not even Mormon or LDS establishments. Like, one of them's the Catholic Church downtown Salt Lake. One of them's another church that's not an LDS church. I'm like, it's not even like real, but it's fun. I liked watching in the background where they were, like when they were driving. A lot of it was filmed in Orem, like a lot more than I thought. And I'm like, I know that place. I know that place. I know where they're at. I know this place. They had Taylor's baby shower at the White Shanty in Provo. I pass by it all the time. Yeah, so it's just kind of fun to see all these places that they go. And I'm like, I've been there. I know that place. I know that. I know that. Um, and then like they would show shots of like cities, and they'd be like Provo, Utah. I'm like, that's not Provo. Like, why can't you just show the real thing? Like, why do you have to choose some random shot that's not even the city and say it? I don't know. I'm sure that's only me that bugs, but I'm like, you guys, this is not lining up. And then they showed, it was the very last episode, they showed Dakota getting into Macy's car and them driving. And they full on showed her car, like full view of the outside of her car. He gets in, they start driving, and then it changes from a Volkswagen to an Infinity, like SUV. I'm like, did you guys not think about, like, who edited this? That's not even the same car. Like, why would you put that car? I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. And like, do you think they care? Do you think it's like one thing that they're like, we have to get this right? Or like, I don't really care if people know or not. Because I don't think anybody really like looks at cars and the surrounding areas and stuff as much as I do. But I noticed. Oh, trust me, I noticed. So then there's this whole debacle about the baby blessing and how the sinners were not invited, but the saints were. And Jenna's whole reasoning was, do you think Jenna is personally related to Ben Affleck, or do you think I can't imagine her ugly ass husband is related to Ben Affleck. I think she looks more like she's related to him. So then it goes to show, is that her last name in real life, or does she just go by that because it makes it look more what am I trying to say? Like a more recognizable. You know what I mean? Because I feel like she's the one that's actually related to Ben Affleck, not her husband. Anyway, someone did say on TikTok, they're like, did you notice that Jenna's the only last name that appears on when they show their names at the bottom? Like, she's the only one whose last name appears on the screen. So I think she just uses it for clout, which, I mean, I would too. She says he's like her first cousin or something. Anyway, so some of the girls find out that they're uninvited to Jenna's baby blessing, and they call her and they're like, so what's going on? And she's like, well, like, you guys weren't actually invited. They're like, no, you told us. Like, we have it in our phones and we were going to show up tomorrow. Like, we were fully planning on it. But then we get word that we're not invited. And then, like, Jenna starts kind of crying or whatever. And you can tell her husband's, like, just controlling it. And he's like, it's just like a sacred event. And I don't want your guys' husbands there because I never met them and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then that shows the next day, the baby blessing. The baby blessing is in their living room. I'm like, okay. So clearly we all know they couldn't get access to the church to do the baby blessing because that's where the baby blessings happen, is in sacrament. And so you're fine with recreating the scene of this like sacred event in your living room with a film crew, but you're not fine with having your wife's friends come. Like, but then as the show goes on, you understand more and more of why Zach, like, it makes more sense once you see who Zach is, and as Jenna's husband. And I'm like, I just thought it was interesting. Like, we want this thing to be a special event. It's just a sacred thing that, we do, and we only want true people there or whatever. And then they're fine with recreating it in their living room with a whole Hulu film crew behind them. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Let's see. What is next? Yeah, and then like at the baby shower, Michaela's wearing this like spaghetti noodle strapped dress. I'm like, you guys, what? Like, this is I don't know. This is what I mean. Like, she's not wearing her garments, but yet she's going to the temple. Isn't that like a huge thing you're supposed to follow? I don't know. Okay, this one. When I saw this, I saw it on the show, not on TikTok. But when I saw this, my jaw dropped because so they do this truth box and they write in random questions about the girls, and one of them was like, Whitney, why do you hate Taylor so much? And she's like, I don't hate Taylor. And we're like, okay, whatever, you do. And she's like, I just felt like it wasn't fair that Taylor was forgiven so quickly and I wasn't. And I'm like, for what? What'd you do? I mean, I know you're not a nice person, but what could you have possibly done that bad? Then they show the video of her dancing next to her sick child in the hospital. Like, her child is in that, like, little bed thing, trying to rest and recover from, I think it was RSV, and she is doing a TikTok dance next to her. It's giving that, like, on Musically, that kid dancing next to his sick grandpa, to Justin Bieber. Don't you give up, nah, nah. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm like, you couldn't have watched this back and thought, this is gonna work. This is gonna get me views. Which they did say that she thought that she was gonna get clout and she thought she was gonna get followers and stuff from it. Like, she fully did it as a way to, what am I trying to say? Get more followers. I guess that's what I was trying to say. But my jaw was on the floor. I could not believe it. I could not believe. And then I was like, do the other girls think this is kind of weird? Like, did they see this and think, oh, good job, this is gonna make us go viral? But no, they thought the same as me. They thought it was weird. So then after the whole truth box thing at the girls' trip, Whitney starts crying. I'm doing air quotes. She goes into the closet and she is like trying to force these tears so hard. Trying to force it. Like, I'm like, Kate, stop. Like, no one is believing you. And she's like wiping away non-existent tears. And she's just like, I just don't understand why people are so mad at me. Why people are so mean to me. I'm like, maybe it's because you brought a present and had Demi publicly open it in front of everybody. And it was about like this private event between her and her husband. And you're making a joke about it in front of everybody at her party. And you didn't think that was mean? Like, you didn't think pouring a box of cereal into a box. I guess I should like, if you've seen the show, you know, but like, apparently Demi and her husband did some freaky shit in the bedroom with Fruity Pebbles. I don't know what. I can't explain to you what it would be. I still am trying to figure it out myself. And she told it to the girls, like, in confidence. And now Whitney is, like, bringing it up on national television. And, like, this one girl on TikTok's like, what makes me sad is she has, like, teenage stepsons. And they're going to get teased and bullied relentlessly about this now. Because Whitney decided to bring it up and be a mean girl about this. But she fully pours a bag of Fruity Pebbles into a box, wraps it up, and says, hey girl, I brought you a present. She's like, oh my gosh, that is so nice of you, thank you. And the look on her face when she opens it, you can tell it's just like a mix of embarrassment, a mix of like, I don't want to say shame, because you shouldn't feel shamed about stuff like that, you know, but you can just tell it's like when it's in front of everybody and it's just like this awkward moment and you really don't know what to do. And Whitney's like laughing like it's so funny, and like I would be pissed too, and Demi gets pissed and gets up, and then Whitney's pissed that Demi's mad. Like, it's just like, okay, whatever. So yeah, then they go on this girls trip and these two get in a fight because obviously, and like Demi's trying to get like Whitney to just confess that she's a mean girl, confess that she like talks shit on all these people and gets secrets out of people, and then that's what she uses that against them. I don't know. It was interesting. Just the whole time Whitney's playing this victim, she's like, I unfollowed him because I just couldn't listen to him. I need a break from it. Momtok, I just wanted to get back to the way it used to be. I'm like, what did it used to be? Like, what? Like, it can't be that big of a franchise, you know what I mean? And that's just like the whole thing. She's like, I just need to take a step away from Momtok. I need a break from Momtok. I need this. So when she does unfollow them, when she does block them, when she does leave the group chat, and then she finds out they're doing stuff without her, she's like, I am just so hurt that these guys would decide to do this kind of stuff without me. And I'm like, you are the one that wants people to be like, oh, Whitney, oh, you poor thing. She's like, no one has called me. No one has done all this. And it's like, yeah, but that's what you want. So why are you upset about it? I don't know. The fake crying got to me. When people fake cry, it's like when Khloe Kardashian on her show Revenge Body, when that guy starts like fake crying and she's like, okay, like you don't have to fake cry. He's like, I'm not. She's like, yeah, you are. Like, it's a little too forced. It's okay. He's like, no, I'm really sad. She's like, okay, whatever. Okay. What's next? Oh, why do I should have done more research on this one. It says the scene of Taylor after she was called white trash. What did she do? She did something right after. And it just, the way they lined it up, they had to have done it on purpose. I'm trying to think of what happened. So she finds out that Demi calls her white trash. And then right after, it's like a cut scene to something else. And Whitney or Taylor's doing something. I don't want to say it's trashy, but it went along well with the comment. I'll have to find it out. If I do, I'll let you guys know next week. But let's see. I put when Whitney made Jesse have a conversation with her. Oh, this was at Layla's divorce party. Whitney's the one that wanted Jesse to talk to her, and then Jesse told her exactly why she said she uses people and why she, didn't like Whitney. And then Whitney on her confessional, she's like, it's like she wanted to hurt me. Like she did it on purpose. I'm like, you're the one that instigated the conversation. You're the one that pulled her aside and said, hey, I want to talk to you. Like she didn't plan that. You did. You're the one that, I don't know. The whole victim mentality with her. I've already said this, When I'm Gone, where Katy Perry was playing at the beginning of the last episode. Why their pregnant stomach's always out. Let's see. Oh, yeah, so I just said this when Whitney's new TikTok she made, when she's like, when you don't remember things the same way as everybody else does, you remember them differently. I'm going to pull it up because, what is her last name? Oh, Levitt. Levitt, I want to say that's like an important name around Utah. Am I wrong? Has anybody else felt that? Important in like a business way. I don't think a political way or whatever. Okay, so this TikTok has 102,000 views. And it says, well, just finished watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Yeah, see? It's like that song. And she's standing there with her full-on stomach out. I'm like, Kate, and her Stanley Cup. In a different house, mind you, from the one that they were filming in. So it makes you wonder if that was even her real house. But the comments, it's okay, girl. I'd pretend I didn't know it. I was the bad friend, too. Someone's like, to Hawaii you go. Because apparently she moved to Hawaii to get away from all this. Because her husband was caught cheating on her. And she was there for 2 months. I'm like, you didn't move to Hawaii. Like, I don't know. Let's just... Anyway. Let's blame Hulu for not being a good friend. When the producers zoomed in on the tissue on her shoe. Did you guys see that when she's carrying the birthday cake? And there was toilet paper on her shoe? It says when producers zoomed in on the tissue on her shoe while she was carrying that birthday cake, I knew even they weren't a fan. The Fruity Pebbles gift was diabolical. It tracks that you'd remember it differently. Ew, still no accountability for being a trash friend / human. The delusion is crazy. I wanted to say this because I thought this from the very beginning. Whitney reminds me of Hilly off of The Help. That's Bryce Dallas Howard's character. Bryce Dallas Howard's character. And if you don't know, if you've never seen that movie, it's really good. You should watch it. But she's just mean. She's just a mean girl. And that's who it reminded me of from like the beginning. And now I've been seeing TikToks and stuff where people are saying the same thing. I'm like, yes, I love when I think something and someone else agrees with me. Someone said this is Miss Haley Holbrook from The Help, and I can't unsee it. Girl, the call is coming from inside the house. Mean girl vibes. Oh, and then she commented, please name one thing I said that was mean. LOL. There's 522 replies. Should we see what they say? Not the reaction you were hoping for. Should have been a better representative of Jesus and his church. Girl, be so for real. You are mean to your friends, and I'd do it again. Bro is still acting oblivious. Didn't know who you are until watching Taylor equals Momtok, just so you know. Because apparently they're saying like that Whitney's the new face of Momtok. She's the new leader. And like they kept saying that we need to find a new leader. We need to find a new, like, so are you the new leader of Momtok? We need to get Momtok back to where it was. We're like, where was it? Of course, let's blame Hulu. And she said, oh honey, it's not Hulu. Time to reflect. I get it. I'd be crazy jealous of Taylor too. I'd pretend they lied too. Oh, I don't know. I mean, every show needs a villain, but I think she truly is not a nice person. And like Kristen Cavallari, she was on The Hills. She was on Laguna Beach before that, and she's like, yeah, I fully came into it knowing I was going to be the villain, and I was okay with that. When in reality, she's one of the more normal ones on the show. This is my own thoughts. Sorry, I just my water bottle. That was my own thoughts, but I think Lauren Conrad is the real villain. I'm just gonna be totally upfront with you. Maybe not a villain, but just she's not the nice girl that she portrays. And I think in reality, Kristen Cavallari is actually the nicest one and the more down to earth one and all that stuff. But she's like, yeah, I fully went into it knowing I was going to be the villain. I think it's the exact opposite for Whitney. I think she went into it thinking people would genuinely like her. Like, genuinely, she thought, oh, this is going to be good. I can get my story out there. Like, no, whenever you open your mouth, you're just mean. Let's see. Someone's like, they could never make me like you. The producers push a narrative for sure. I don't think I agree with that. I actually loved you in the show. I see exactly what you were, the way you were. A lot of pain and sadness you were holding back. I'll always be a fan of Wit. Interesting. You might want to watch the show again, just to clarify. And the bravery she had to show up after she didn't show up to Taylor's baby shower, which I guess I kind of get. Even though Taylor's like, I thought we were friends. Like, I don't understand what the problem was. She didn't show up to her best friend Macy's company launch party. And then she shows up to Michaela's birthday party. Like, just walks in. And the girls, like Jesse, and they're like, Michaela hates you. Like, why are you here? Like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, you have some guts, because to be able to do that in front of everyone, like, even Michaela didn't even say anything to her. She's like, oh, thanks. Oh, okay. Hi. Like, I'm surprised you're here. Like, she was like not trying to like butter up to her. She wasn't trying to just be nice. I don't know. I don't get it. And then she left the party saying, I think of it as like these mean girls, and they're all rallying around just to be mean to me. I don't understand what I did. I'm like, girl, you need a wake-up call. I don't know. Okay, and the last one I'll end on is when she did the pregnancy announcement in the cake. I thought the cake was going to be like a different, like pink or blue, to signify like, you know, what baby they're having. And then they're like, no, it's something in there. I'm like, was it like a piece of paper with like, or I thought it was the picture of the ultrasound or whatever. No, it was the pregnancy test. And Whitney's little sister is like, is that the pregnancy test? She's like, yeah, it's the exact one. And she's like, and you put it in the cake. She's like, well, yeah, but like the cap's on. And the sister's like, there's still residue on it. Like, it doesn't just go on the little piece that you're supposed to pee on. And I'm like her face is just disgusted. I'm like, yeah, I'm with the sister on this one. And then you look at the mom and she's licking the frosting off of the pregnancy test. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Oh, okay. They better. Oh, sorry. I need to talk about Jenna and Zach. So Zach, it's okay for him to go to Vegas and gamble, which is a big no-no in the church. But she can't go with her friends to a Chippendale show. And then she's like, I'm giving you $2,500 to gamble, and that's it. I'm like, $2,500? Jeez. And then he makes her move to New York because he wants to follow his dream. I am sorry, you guys. That man is ugly. Like, let's see. So she's super pretty, like super, super pretty. And he is not. And my guess is she says she used to work like minimum wage jobs before that. And I'm just wondering if, because he's a true narcissist. So obviously he has a way with words and, you know, swooning and flirting, all this stuff. So obviously she fell in love with that side of him, not the side that tells her she's like trash. She wants a divorce because she went on this trip that she didn't even know was going to happen, this Chippendales show. And I'm just thinking, like, because now she's a breadwinner and she makes tons of money. And I'm just thinking, like, do you think that she's like, well, this is the best I want to get? Do you think, like, I'm just wondering how she got together with him, because she is so out of his league. Like, so out of his league. First of all, I've never seen someone more blonde in my entire life. And it's like, not a good blonde. You know what I mean? It's like a blonde where he got out of the swimming pool for like, he's been in for like 7 hours and just let his hair dry. I know I'm just being mean, but maybe I've just been watching Whitney too long. But the fact that she lets him boss her around like that is crazy to me. And how she's like, I want to stay in Utah because I want to do Momtok. He's like, I don't care. And she's like, okay. And you can just tell in the scene where she's in New York with him, like the very last scene. And he's like, I think this is the best decision for us. And you can tell she just looks so sad and so miserable. She looks really good. Her outfit looks really good. But I'm just like, how sad? How sad is that? That he's just dragging you along, whatever he wants to do. He's going to be in school for like 8 more years to be a doctor. I don't know. I just feel bad. I feel bad for her. And that is all I have to say this week. Oh, what I was going to say though is I think Demi is one of the prettiest people I've ever seen in my life. Like, truly one of the most gorgeous human beings I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Like, oh, sorry, one more thing. I just found out today that her husband is, was married to Angie Harrington. And if you're wondering who the hell is Angie Harrington, she is one of the friends on Real Housewives of Salt Lake. And I thought she would get a permanent cast spot. But supposedly she's the richest housewife of Utah. Where's my little tab? I had a tab pulled up. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star Demi Engman, I think that's how you say her last name, says her husband was married to this reality of Salt Lake house star. Sorry. This Real Housewives of Salt Lake City house star. Oh my gosh, housewife. Says Utah is very small. That is quite correct. But yeah, I didn't realize. So he has 2 kids with Angie Harrington. And now he's married to Demi. And she said she knew him when she was 9. Because if you don't know, he's 46, I think. And she just turned 30. So there is quite an age gap. Which doesn't bother me. Like some people it bothers, but to me it doesn't. But she like knew him when she was young. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. Someone's like, he must have a thing for reality television stars. And that is all for today, you guys. Why do I have to keep saying that? Oh, that is true though. Real House of Salt Lake City starts this Thursday, I think. This Thursday or Friday. No, that's not right. I think it's next week. Sorry, I'm getting my weeks mixed up. But yeah, there you go. Have a great week. You can tell it's getting cooler at night. I am not officially changing my decorating in my house to fall until September 21st, because that is the first day of fall. So there's that. But I can't wait because I have a bedspread that I bought last year, and it's like velvety and it's orange, it's like a burnt orange, and I cannot wait to use it again. I'm so excited. Yeah, that is that. Have a great week, and thank you for listening. And if you have not watched this show, I would highly recommend it. It is so good. I was glued to the TV. Anyway, good luck, Whitney. Bye.